Hey, folks, quick thought on alignment, if you will. And back when I was working for Colonial Williamsburg, our Teachers Institute used to do this thing called Tension Values in American History, a little exercise with the students and taking a look at some themes and some ideals in American history and sort of the tension and how they sort of pull back and forth. A good example would be unity versus diversity, right? Unity, everybody speaks the same language. Everyone has the same political beliefs. Everyone has the same sort of thought pattern when it comes to that. And then diversity. Where is our strength? Is our strength in unity, or is our strength in diversity? Diversity. Nobody, multitude of languages, and not everybody has the same political beliefs, and this sort of tension between that. We see that within political parties, how that not everybody has the same belief, and there's usually that tension within the party. How do we work that out? Another example is sort of Carlin's old slave owners wanting to be free. Slave owners knowing slavery is bad, and yet during the American Revolution, or at least the years leading up to the American Revolution, comparing themselves, I will not be slave to Great Britain, kind of thing, and then the tension that's inherent in that. And then the one that's probably closer to alignment, especially like a lawful good kind of alignment, is the tension between law and ethics. We have a law. Do we follow that law, or do we follow our own set of ethics? And what if our own set of ethics happens to sit here, our own set of what is good sits here, as your good, versus what a law is that law necessarily good? And there's an element of that for all of us, just in application in everyday life, right? How many of you lawful people out there break the speed limit or run yellow lights or, that kind of stuff? That's a kind of a silly example, but it is an example of breaking the law. It's a small, minor one. How does that apply? Alignments are just that, right? If you are lawful good or neutral good or chaotic good or chaotic neutral, there is that tension between those two, right? Which one ranks higher than the other? Because no one's exactly sort of split down the middle 50-50 on any of that. And not each situation is going to be split 50-50 down the middle, right? Every situation is going to have a higher element of one or the other. And where do I fall in that spectrum, right? And how do I work my way through that? So just some thoughts here, and it's kind of interesting for me, anyway, the parallel between tension values in American history and what I would consider tension values in the alignment system and how that all sort of plays out. But anyway, just some thoughts for tonight.